In today's Take a Day, I want to talk about the Los Angeles Clippers, and I want to talk about one thing that they possess over every team in the NBA. Now, before we get into that, though, please like, subscribe. Also hit the notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. We put out content every day, so you won't miss any content here. So let's just go ahead and jump right into this. So when I talk about the Clippers, I'm talking about a team that I look at from day to day, and just like a lot of other teams, but I look at the Clippers very closely, and I observe them from different angles. And what I see is a team who is very, very unpredictable. And, you know, unpredictable can be good, but it also can be very, very bad, because when you think about sports in general, you think about a team being consistent on both ends of the floor or both ends of the field. If you want to talk about, you know, football, baseball, any sport, you know, any end of the the opposing team, you have to be good on both sides. You know, you have to, especially when it comes to sports like basketball, you know, you have to, you know, it's of course it's 90% mental, but at the same time, you have to be able to be consistent in good areas that will make you a good team or a great player, or, you know, whatever you want to call it. And when I think of the Clippers, I just think of a team that, you know, has a lot of good attributes, a lot of good, you know, talent on there, but sometimes they're very confusing. They could beat one of the best teams in the NBA, but then all of a sudden they could lose to one of the worst teams in the NBA. You know, it's just it's just a very Jekyll and Hyde, up and down type, you know, team they can be at times, you know, and sometimes they can definitely make you scratch your head and wonder and shake your head and be like, how is this team as good as they are, but playing as bad as they're playing? I mean, I can remember one point last season where in the regular season they were, you know, they had a good record, but, you know, Kawhi goes out one game, they lose by 50 to the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, that's mind blowing. There's no way a team like the Clippers should lose by 50 to anybody. But my point is, when you look at this team, they're very, very, you know, unorthodox, I would say. But, you know, the one thing I do feel like they always have in their back pocket is their resiliency. You know, when you look at them play a lot of teams, they always seem to find a way to come back in games when they're down and out, or when they're just shooting horrible. Because most nights, Paul George is not shooting a good percentage. Let's just face it. He is a 25 to 30 point scorer on bad shooting. That's just what he is. Like, poor shooting selection. That's what he does. And Reggie Jackson could be the same way. I mean, I feel like their brothers are a product of each other's environment, because they just basically do the same thing. And one of their other brothers follows along, which is Marcus Morris a lot of times. But hopefully, you know, he'll start playing better since he's come back and, you know, trying to get his footing under him. Hopefully that works out. But when you think about the Clippers, a lot of games, they're so inefficient how they're shooting. It's unreal. And, you know, the only player on their team that's the most efficient and, you know, consistent has always, you know, has been Kawhi Leonard. And he's not there right now. So the consistency in a lot of things, you know, is not there because your best player is not there. And I feel like, you know, of course, if he comes back, you know, 100%, definitely, you know, the Clippers will definitely be a contender. I believe they'll be talked about even more as well, because it doesn't seem like they're getting enough buzz to me now that Kawhi is out. And, you know, Paul George is doing a really good job. I got to give him credit. For the most part, he's keeping the team afloat. He's doing what he can. I think they're like 10-8. They could have a better record than that, I'm not going to lie. But, I mean, that's pretty good, you know, in the first 18 or 20 games of the season. And, you know, you're finding yourself maybe a 6-7 seed or something like that, just trying to get your footing, you know, going in the season. And that's definitely a good thing for the Clippers. But I definitely have to say their resiliency in every game, and even last year in the playoffs, you know, it showed how resilient they are. And I haven't seen a team resilient as they are. And it could be due to the fact that they're always looked at as an underdog, or they're always an undermined team. They're the little brother in LA. They're never going to be looked at as the big brother. And they're always a pushover to a lot of media and a lot of fans. And they always can be used as memes and every type thing and every type which way. But, you know, it could be due to that, the reason why they show more resiliency than any other team seem like. You know, it seems like if the Clippers Clippers are down, like last night against the Dallas Mavericks, they were down 103-98 or something like that. And then all of a sudden a shot hit here. Paul George hits a big shot to send him into overtime. I thought the Clippers was going to win, but unfortunately they didn't win. They only scored 1 point in overtime, which is very, very disappointing all on its own. I didn't think that would happen, but hey, that's a part of the unpredictableness of the Clippers. I mean, you know, it's give and take with them, and that's just the way it is. But a lot of games like that have happened for the Clippers. Just when you think it's over with, they find ways to win. I mean, they had something like that last year against Atlanta, you know, where Atlanta was up by 25 points. Ty Lue puts in the backups, and they come in, drop the lead down to like 8 or 10, then put the starters back in, and they go in and finish it off. They've always shown resilience. Even last year in the playoffs, definitely shown resilience when, you know, they was in the first round versus Dallas with Luka going off the way he did, and Kawhi turned into the basketball god that he is and, you know, shut it down. And that's just, you know, the resiliency. It's almost like this team plays so much better when their back is against the wall rather than being in control of a game. It's really weird. It's really like I said, unorthodox thing with them. And I really hope that they find a way to kind of fix that, because that can definitely turn towards the negative in the future in regards to the playoffs, you know. But at the same time, hey, whatever works. You know, I can't really knock it because it works for them. When their back is against the wall, they just play better, whether they're missing one of their best players, the best player, a really good role player. It doesn't matter. It just seems like, you know, any and every team they play, you feel like they're going to lose by 3 points or less. It's just the way it seems with the Clippers. I mean, because it feel like there's no lead safe with them, because they have so much talent from the bench mob all the way to the starting lineup, and they have good individual perimeter defenders. So that makes them a versatile type team when it comes to looking at both ends of the floor. And I feel like that's something that Ty Lue and the rest of the crew can utilize to their advantage, and they have so far, and they still will do it going forward, I believe. So it's just very, very unorthodox with the team. Very weird type of way. They're a playoff team right now, but there's some nights they don't look like a playoff team. You know, they'll beat a team like you know, they'll beat a really good team, and then they'll lose to a team like Cleveland or lose to a team like the Pelicans, you know, who only has 3 wins this season, and one of their 3 wins is against the LA Clippers. It's just very weird how they are. But I will say this, they're very resilient, and they continue to show that. And that's something that's definitely going to help them during the season, going through the season, especially until they get Kawhi Leonard back and, you know, a full crew, everybody's back healthy and everything like that. But I do see them beating some really good teams this season if they can find a way to keep the resiliency also, and, you know, make and take better shots and be more efficient on the offensive end. As I always say, I definitely think they can definitely make some noise and get a little bit more recognition for what they're doing, rather than now not getting no recognition because a lot of people are just undermining them. But hey, that's my take on the situation there. Leave any comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think in regards to, you know, everything I said. And hey, if you think any differently, leave it in the comment section. I'm definitely willing to listen and see what you have to say. As always, we'll engage. And hey, Khaliis out.